Hey guys, my video for you today is a bit of show and tell, and you probably shouldn't be too surprised at this point that it is in fact Beastie Boys related, because that's pretty much when I'm not doing something for the blog or for work or the podcast now. That's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm listening, I'm reading about them, so on and so forth. So, my friend Sarah, actually, this was about 2 weeks ago, sent me a message on Twitter and said, "I read something about Beastie Boys and action figures, and I thought about you. I wonder why." So I was like, yeah, I can't imagine. So I went and looked at the site to see what she was talking about, and it turns out that a set that had previously been mostly unknown, I think, they had put up for sale. The story behind these is that in 1998, I don't know the reasons why, but they had produced these action figures that basically look like they do on the cover of Hello Nasty. I'll put a picture up of that for you so you can see what I'm talking about. They're in the sardine tin and all, and they are like old school G.I. Joe action figures. They're not like your little, like things that we usually think of today. What you really have to understand about the Beastie Boys is that they're in love with the 70s, so it makes sense that they would go with those old school G.I. Joes and not the little tiny ones that those of us from the 80s are used to dealing with. I don't even know what G.I. Joes look like now. Do they still make them? I guess they probably did for the movie. Anyway, so that's what they're pretty much based on. When these originally came out, they were $1,000, and I believe, at least up until recently, if you wanted to get them on eBay, that's about what you were going to pay for them. And of course, I had read about these like before they had announced all this, and I was like, oh wow, that's awesome, but I'm not about to go spend that much money for somebody. So when it came out, well, okay, they're on the site, and I think they're still technically up. They're $750 now, which is not cheap at all, but the money does go to charity, and it's a combination of two different childhood cancer charities. So I believe I asked on Twitter, do you think it's worth it? And I had multiple people tell me yes. So it's your fault. Not really. I was going to do it anyway. In case you don't know, the reason why they're now up for sale is the latest Spike Jones, Beastie Boys collaboration video is for the song Don't Play No Game That I Can't Win, which is off their new album. And it stars these action figures. They're in different outfits in the video, but it's basically them as kind of like secret agents, and this other, I guess, group is trying to assassinate them. And it's pretty funny. I really enjoy it. You have to watch the longer version, because it has a little bit more of a story to it, and it makes it a little bit funnier, and it makes a little more sense. The one that they put up on Funny or Die, which I don't think is there anymore. I read something about it being removed. It just didn't have enough, it was kind of like, all right, this is weird, but I don't get it. But the longer version has a better story for you. And I'll try to include in my blog post and on YouTube as well a link to that so you can check it out and see it. So once that video came out, I kind of had a hunch that they were probably going to put these out on sale, and it turns out I was right. So I got them, and I wanted to kind of show you guys what they look like and all that kind of fun stuff. It also came with, I guess, to try to sweeten the deal a little bit, a copy of the Beastie Boys anthology. So, ta-da! It's a nice book. It also technically comes with CDs, which I'm now realizing are in my car, so I can't show them to you. But it's a 2-disc set, and then the book itself is basically a collection of stories and pictures. I don't know if you can see much detail on there, but just to kind of give you an idea, that's obviously from the days when they were touring with Run DMC. So there's a lot of interesting pictures, a lot of interesting stories behind some of the songs. I found it really amusing, actually. Some kind of background. Oh, look. A kitty. I don't know what it's doing in the studio, but that's awesome. So it's really neat. I would recommend, if you're a Beastie Boys fan at all, picking this up just in general, because there's a lot of fun stuff in here. And kind of explains their side of the story of how they went from the party boys that did fight for your right to the more politically minded, I guess, and more respectful of women guys that they are today. And the music, of course, is also neat. There's some of them are greatest hits type things, but there's also a lot of rarities on there as well. There's a lot of their hardcore punk songs. There's alternate versions of some of the songs that we're familiar with, and like crazy things like Biz Markie singing Benny and the Jets. I don't know. Why does that belong in a Beastie Boys album? Because they wanted it there. That's how they operate. So, without further ado, this is what it comes in. A nice big silver box. And once you open it up, it's also in a tin. What is it, in Intergalactic? I think that's where they took it from. He says, like, packed like sardines in a tin, which is pretty much what this is. It also kind of, to me, it reminds me, I've seen a lot of old school G.I. Joe tins that are full on metal, which this is. I don't know what they were doing with these, but as you can see, they came dented and scuffed up, so I think these have been sitting in a warehouse or something. They haven't necessarily been getting the most amount of love, put it that way. Next stage. Can you tell that there's like a plastic thing here? It's got a fun little, I think that's Intergalactic. I'm not positive. Simple. Come on. Alright. And finally, Ad Rock, MCA, and Mike D. I'm short. This is why they're like practically blocking my view. I don't know how well you can tell, but they're actually, the likenesses are pretty darn good. I don't know what is going on with Mike D's expression here. He is clearly cross-eyed. MCA looks like he's just seen something horrible, and I think he just farted, honestly. But they do look like the characters, at least. I don't know if you could tell earlier. Also, move the guys aside for a minute here. There were 3 of these little bags, and what's in here is, be my temporary model here, a hat. Basically, it's their outfits from the Intergalactic video. Boots. Show you that in a second. The full jumpsuit, which is all one piece, and the little vest to go over it. And then in here is basically, there's a microphone, there's gloves, there's another, I don't know, I guess that's technically a Kung Fu grip hand, I'm not entirely sure. I didn't have any of those old school G.I. Joes. There's goggles in here, and there's also decals that you could, I guess, stick probably on the hat if you wanted, that are like the symbol again, and some Japanese writing, which, I don't know. My katakana is very rusty, unfortunately, so I can't tell you what they say. So the moment I got these, I was very, I opened it up and I was all ready to put them in their little intergalactic outfits, because I love that video and I think it's so funny. But unfortunately, which is the reason why they're staying so perfectly also, is because they come with stands. I couldn't possibly be that well balanced that I could figure out how to do it. But it grips them quite well, and they're nice and little flexible. It says on it, probably can't tell in the lighting, but it says Grand Royal, which is their I think now former. They had their own vanity label for a while there. I don't think it exists anymore, but I was all set to do it. Which, look at this, they have socks as well as, I mean, the attention to detail on these things. I'm going to put up some pictures because you'll really have to see it. Like, it's really quite, they all have pretty much the same exact shirt with the pocket, and then these are little snaps. And it's obviously just 3 different colors, but their pants are all different. Adrock here is wearing jeans, and he's got the little belt that actually you can latch and unlatch. It's not just a snap thing. Actually, when I took it off because I was trying to change their clothes, it was a little frustrating trying to get it back on afterward. I couldn't figure out the exact way they had wrapped it around it. And I'll show you the detail picture. The pants actually have, I mean, little tiny zippers and everything. It's kind of amazing. And underneath they're also wearing boxers. And no, they are not anatomically correct under the boxers. I'm sorry. That you're not going to see that. But they are they've been working out quite a bit. I don't think that's true to life. Sorry, guys, but you're not fooling me. But I was all ready, to change them, and unfortunately, I can't get these shoes off. Is my main, like, they've got it's obviously a ball joint here, which is nice and makes them flexible and all. But every time I go to pull this shoe off, I feel like I'm going to break his foot. And, when you spend $750 on something, charity or no, you don't exactly want to break it that fast. So I'm very disappointed because I can't change them. But I think they're really cute. I don't know. I love the way they look. See, I'm used to Ken. Like I said, I don't have any of the old school G.I. Joes, but I'm used to Ken. And Ken's head couldn't move. It was kind of one of the things about Ken was that you could move it side to side. Which, okay, all right, there he goes. But he couldn't nod or anything like that. And it was always it was frustrating to me because Barbie could tilt her head any which way you ever wanted. But Ken couldn't. It ended up in my friends and my little brother popping the heads off of Ken all the time, and my dad would just go and stick it back on. Whereas if you pop Barbie's head off, you're done. She's never going to be the same again. So I would obviously not do the same for these guys either, because I don't think they would last. But their heads move pretty much in every direction. Their arms are very good about they got some pretty good range of movement here. Same with the knees. They actually bend a little further than they should. So it's nice to have all this articulation. It's just, like I said, maybe I just need to stop being a wuss, and maybe after enough time, I'll just go for broke and I'll just yank and these will come off. But the shoes are very, very tough. I mean, this doesn't bend. There's no bending going on here in the sole. So you're not it's not going to come off easily, and I don't want to damage these things, which, like I said, it really sucks because I'd love to put them in their little intergalactic outfits, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. There's a lot of movement, but you can't exactly, like I was trying, let me do it, get it again. I was trying to at least put his microphone in his hand, which you can do that. Okay, there you go. But how you can't wrap into that? I guess sort of, maybe. Okay, looking at it through the camera, that kind of works, but that's still not exactly a natural pose. There, of course, his hand isn't. But it's like, well, what is he doing? No, I don't know. Anyway, so it's not entirely perfect. I think he should have his microphone a little closer to his mouth. See, like, you know, you wouldn't be able to hear that if he was on stage. But it's still really neat. I don't know. I guess the gloves. I didn't even try to put the gloves on. I guess I should attempt to do that, huh? If I'm going to be a proper viewer. I don't think that would go, though. I think because these actually, no, but you know what you can do? I think you can actually pop, because they've got the extra hand in there, I think you can pop his hand off. Shit. See, this is like, once again, it's like I'm afraid I'm going to damage it. But I would think technically this does come off, because if you can kind of see, there's like the line there, and it was sort of coming loose. But I'm afraid to mess with them. You know, you don't spend all this money and then like, oh, let me just, I don't know, like I'm sure like a little boy, if he had these, he'd just fuck with them and just, you know. But I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. So I don't know. Let me see if his gloves fit. Actually, look at that. He does stand well on his own. He's not on the stand right now. I guess because those shoes are so solid, it's not a problem. His goggles fit nice. See that? You can go a little lower. So that's cool. They're really good. I still haven't figured out where I want to display them yet, because I really like them, and I have to, of course, in my case, I have to be careful of cats. It looks like Logan's not going to do a cameo because he's currently sitting in the empty box over there, and you know how cats are with boxes. So the one other thing I wanted to show you, and don't ask too many questions about this, okay? They are the perfect size for Barbie. So if you wanted them to have some groupies, you could do that. I think these girls are dressed a little more appropriately for the License to Ill days. I think you'd have to do some updates to their outfits, maybe get him a trucker hat and the Volkswagen thing. But yeah, they're like the perfect size. So beyond Barbie, I actually have some other similar sized ones. So I thought just for fun. Apparently, yeah, look at him, he's so tiny. The Star Trek editions of these, like what I previously thought of as full-sized, are apparently much smaller. So I don't know how many. I got this probably in the early 90s, maybe mid 90s. So you couldn't really do anything with Data unless, I mean, I guess he can't have an inferiority complex unless he's got his emotional chip yet, but he's not really compatible. And then I have, let's see, he's probably too small too. Yep, Data's about to fall over there. Here's Cyclops. These were also, like I said, early to mid 90s rather. I've got a Mr. Sinister as well. I know they sold a Rogue, and it's basically just they took their little small time figures and they made giant versions of them. Though I think in this case Cyclops looks more like the Tick, or at least he's built like him. But anyway, he's too small. However, more recent times, Phoenix is actually just about their height. And I think if you put her next to Mike D, then suddenly his expression becomes it makes a little more sense. Because if I was hanging out with her, I'd look pretty much shell-shocked too. And also for fun, and once again, why do I still have these in an easy reach? I don't know. But I do. Here's Ken. Let's compare, just for the sake of, in case you've forgotten already. Who's Barbie going with? I don't know. And then I love this one. You can tell this is 90s because he's got the nice highlights there, Ken. This one is not, he's not highlighted, he's just damaged. Poor thing. I think he's balding. He's prematurely balding. He's about the same size. Keep your shirt on there, Mike. So I love this outfit. This is something my dad was wearing in the 80s, so that's fitting. And then I also have this guy. This isn't Ken, I don't think. Somewhere around the 90s, they decided that Midge could get married, but Barbie couldn't. So I don't know who this guy is, but that's who Midge married, and he's wearing a pink tuxedo. Obviously, I think the jacket might have even been shiny. I don't have that anymore. And then this guy, his clothes don't even fit him. But he had to be a dollar store buy. But I think I wanted Barbie to have more boyfriends, so I collected all these various different things. If I had had these guys, I really could have had some fun. But, yeah, of course these didn't come out until long after I was playing with Barbies. I want to make that clear. But, yeah, look at this. I couldn't even close his pants. And why is he wearing... Actually, I just realized the underwear that he is wearing is Barbie's. I think that's her bikini bottom. Why did I do that? I don't know. And he also, you can tell he's got a bit of a, he's a little closer to anatomically correct there. I think I always made, this was like the dork who, nobody really wanted to date him. I mean, well, would you want to date a guy whose pants were open? Probably not. But I just thought that'd be kind of fun to show y'all just some different ones I've got. I've got way too many toys. So I just went and peeked at the Beastie Boys main site, and I happened to notice they don't have them in the new outfits either. They've got the hats on them in some of the shots, and they've wrapped the vest around their casual outfit, so to speak. But none of them have them with the actual intergalactic things, which makes me kind of wonder if you even can. So if there is anyone out there who has gotten these already and has figured out a way to successfully change them, please leave me a comment and let me know, because I'm very, very curious, because I don't want to get too forceful with them, but I would like to change them. And if there is a secret to it, then by all means, please tell me. And also, obviously, when I went and looked, they are definitely still on sale. The two charities that you would be giving money to are I'm assuming it's pronounced Pavlov Foundation and Alex's Lemonade Stand, which I said are both for childhood cancer. It's a very worthy cause, and it does come with the anthology, so depending on, even if you have the entire Beastie Boys discography already, then it's still a worthwhile purchase. So, and you get these fun little action figures to display and play with if you so desire. So I highly recommend them if you've got the cash to spend. If you just want to give to the cancer foundations, if you don't have that much, I'll go ahead and put the links in the for y'all as well. And I hope you enjoyed this silly little video. It also felt kind of wrong to at least not include some cat in this video at all. And my dear Remy has been sitting here next to me this whole time, and he's being so good and so patient. So, oh, poor baby. Here's his video debut. Look at the camera. Show him how beautiful you are. He looks thrilled, I know, right? But anyway, so now you've seen both my cats. And now you've also seen me with curly hair, so the circle is complete. I don't have to make any more, right?